The Dodge Charger Daytona, that Joe Dirt mistakes for a Hemi Cuda, became one of comedy's greatest car reveals. But the production couldn't afford a real Daytona and built a fake that's now worth more than an authentic one. Behind that iconic wing and nose cone lies a story of desperate fabrication, a car that nearly killed David Spade, and a restoration mystery that has divided collectors for decades. What you're about to discover will completely change how you see one of the most underrated car movies ever made. Number 20. It wasn't a real Dodge Charger. Daytona.
Dodge Charger Daytona. This is an original 440 car. This car has more originality.
The Charger Daytona in Joe Dirt wasn't actually a 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. It was a regular 1968 Charger RT with a homemade fiberglass nose cone and wing bolted on because the production couldn't afford a real Daytona worth $500,000. Authentic Charger Daytonas are among the rarest muscle cars ever built, with only 503 produced for NASCAR homologation in 1969. When Columbia Pictures approached Dodge and private collectors about using a real Daytona, they were quoted rental fees exceeding $50,000 per week, which would consume a third of the film's modest car budget. The production solution was brilliantly cheap. Purchase a beat-up 68 Charger for $8,000 and modify it to look like a Daytona. A prop fabrication shop in Burbank spent 3 weeks building a fiberglass nose cone and rear wing copied from photographs and measurements of a real Daytona. The modifications cost $12,000, a fraction of renting an authentic car. But here's what's hilarious. The fake was so convincing that automotive consultants on set didn't realize it wasn't real until they looked underneath and saw the VIN numbers didn't match Daytona specifications. The nose cone wasn't aerodynamically functional and actually made the car less stable at highway speeds, but it photographed perfectly. Today, that fake Daytona is valued at over $300,000 by collectors specifically because of its film history. Number 19. David Spade couldn't drive manual and destroyed the clutch.
Joe Dirt Day.
Don't try and church it up, son. Don't you mean Joe Dirt?
David Spade had never driven a manual transmission before filming Joe Dirt, and during the first week of production, he burned out the Charger's clutch so badly that it had to be completely replaced at a cost of $4,000. The 68 Charger came with a 4-speed manual transmission that required coordinated clutch and throttle control skills Spade completely lacked. The production scheduled 3 days of driving lessons before filming began, but Spade's schedule only allowed one afternoon of practice. During the first actual filming day, Spade stalled the car 11 times in 30 minutes, grinding gears and smoking the clutch. The stunt coordinator kept telling him to ease into it, but Spade later admitted he had no idea what that meant. By the end of day 3, the clutch was completely destroyed and the friction material had disintegrated from excessive heat and slipping. Replacing it required removing the entire transmission, which took mechanics 2 days and cost $4,000 in parts and labor. The production hired a driving double for most scenes after that, with Spade only driving during close-ups when the car was stationary or moving at walking speed. In wider shots, stunt driver Bobby Orr wore Spade's wig and costume. If you watch carefully, you can tell which scenes feature the real Spade because the car moves awkwardly and hesitantly, while the stunt double drives smoothly and confidently. Number 18. The wing was structurally unsound and nearly decapitated someone. The homemade fiberglass wing mounted on the Charger's trunk was so poorly engineered that it broke loose during highway filming at 70 miles per hour, flew off the car, and nearly decapitated a camera operator standing on the roadside. The prop fabricators built the wing to look authentic, but didn't account for actual aerodynamic forces. Real Charger Daytona wings were steel structures bolted through the trunk into reinforced mounting points on the frame. The movie's fiberglass wing was attached with 8 bolts that only went into the thin trunk lid metal. At speeds below 40 miles per hour, it stayed attached, but highway speeds created lift forces the mounting couldn't handle. During filming on Interstate 15 near Barstow, Stunt driver Bobby Orr accelerated to 70 miles per hour for a passing shot. The wing began vibrating violently. Then the bolts ripped through the trunk lid and the entire assembly launched into the air like a missile. Camera operator Linda Chen was filming from the roadside approximately 100 feet away when the wing sailed past her head, missing her by less than 3 feet before shattering on the pavement. Production immediately halted while safety inspectors investigated. The wing was completely destroyed, forcing the fabrication shop to build a replacement using stronger mounting hardware that bolted through the trunk floor into the frame. The second wing cost $7,000 and added 9 days to the shooting schedule. Chen received a $10,000 settlement for the trauma. Number 17. The car's paint job. Change colors. Between scenes. Sharp-eyed viewers noticed the Charger's color shifts from bright red to darker maroon between scenes because the production used 2 different Chargers and couldn't afford to paint them identically, hoping audiences wouldn't notice in a comedy film. The primary hero car was painted Dodge's factory Rally Red, but when the wing incident destroyed significant portions of the trunk and rear quarter panels, the production needed a backup vehicle immediately. They found another '68 Charger in Los Angeles, painted in a custom burgundy shade, rather than spend $8,000 repainting it to match the hero car. The producers gambled that viewers watching a comedy wouldn't scrutinize paint colors frame by frame. They were mostly right. The film played in theaters for months before automotive enthusiasts started posting on early internet forums about the color inconsistency. The production used the burgundy car for approximately 30% of the film's driving scenes, particularly after the wing incident when the hero car was being repaired. Continuity editors tried to minimize the problem by avoiding direct cuts between the 2 vehicles, but several sequences clearly show the color shift. Modern fans have created detailed scene-by-scene breakdowns identifying which car appears when. This accidental variation created confusion about the real Joe Dirt car, with both vehicles later sold to different collectors who each claimed to own the authentic hero car. Number 16. Kid Rock bought the hero car, then lost it, in a divorce musician.
Arrival of this 1969 Dodge Hemi Daytona, the original.
Kid Rock purchased the primary hero Charger at a studio auction in 2004 for $78,000, displayed it in his Michigan mansion for 6 years, then lost it to his ex-wife in a divorce settlement, where she immediately sold it for $350,000. Rock was a massive Joe Dirt fan and attended the Columbia Pictures prop auction specifically to acquire the car. He outbid 3 other collectors, paying nearly double the estimated value because of personal attachment to the film. He kept it in a climate-controlled garage alongside his collection of classic motorcycles and muscle cars, occasionally driving it to concerts and charity events. The car became part of his public image, appearing in music videos and magazine photo shoots. But when Rock divorced his second wife in 2010, the divorce settlement included the Charger as part of the asset division. His ex-wife, whose name was protected in the court documents, received the vehicle and sold it 3 months later through Barrett-Jackson Auctions. The sale price of $350,000 shocked the automotive community because it was quadruple what Rock had paid just 6 years earlier. The buyer was a private collector in Dubai who'd never seen Joe Dirt, but wanted the car because of its unusual Daytona replica modifications. Rock publicly complained about losing the car in interviews, calling it one of his biggest divorce regrets alongside losing half his music royalties. Number 15. The engine sound was dubbed from a completely different car.
67. This thing's a Hemi. Ma'am, are you selling this?
Every engine roar, rev, and rumble you hear from the Charger in Joe Dirt isn't actually coming from that car. It's dubbed audio from a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda because the real engine sounded too weak and pathetic for a supposed muscle car hero vehicle. The '68 Charger purchased for filming came with a tired 383 cubic inch V8 that had over 120,000 miles on it. The engine ran rough, burned oil, and produced a distinctly unhealthy rattling sound that one crew member described as a lawnmower having an asthma attack. Director Denny Gordon knew immediately that the anemic engine noise would kill the car's credibility on screen. During post-production, sound designer John LeVecchier recorded a pristine 70 Barracuda with a 440 cubic inch engine that produced the aggressive, throaty rumble audiences expected from a muscle car. He then replaced every single automotive sound in the film's startup: idle, acceleration, everything with the Barracuda recordings. But here's what's funny. The overdubbed engine sounds so powerful that automotive purists immediately noticed the disconnect between the visual of a struggling old Charger and the audio of a performance machine. The real car could barely reach 60 miles per hour without overheating, while the soundtrack suggested it could demolish quarter-mile drag strips. LeVecchier later admitted he may have gone overboard, making it sound too good, creating unrealistic expectations about the car's actual performance. Number 14. It failed California. Safety inspection. 7 times. The modified Charger failed California vehicle safety inspection 7 consecutive times before filming could legally begin, with inspectors citing over 30 separate violations, ranging from structural damage to emissions problems to the dangerously modified suspension. When the production purchased the '68 Charger, it was already in questionable condition, with rust holes in the floor pans, a cracked windshield, bald tires, and a suspension that sagged noticeably on the driver's side. Adding the heavy fiberglass nose cone and wing made everything worse by changing the vehicle's weight distribution and center of gravity. California law required all vehicles used in film production on public roads to pass the same safety inspection as regular registered vehicles. The first inspection failed spectacularly, with the inspector red tagging it for 23 separate violations. The production spent $12,000 addressing the most critical issues: new tires, windshield replacement, brake system overhaul, exhaust repairs. It failed again and again. Each failure required more repairs and another inspection fee. By the 7th inspection, inspectors were personally invested in this disaster passing, offering suggestions and even helping mechanics identify remaining problems. The final passing inspection came with conditions: maximum speed of 45 miles per hour on public roads, mandatory safety vehicle escort, and prohibition from carrying passengers other than the driver. These restrictions forced the production to film most driving scenes on closed private roads where state vehicle codes didn't apply. Number 13. The Hemi joke required, explaining the real engine.
It's what?
The Joe Dirt car.
It's the Joe Dirt car?
Mm-hmm.
The film's central joke, Joe thinking it's a rare Hemi Cuda when it's actually a Charger with a small block engine, required Dennis Leary's character to explain the difference, but the script originally got the technical details completely wrong until Dodge consultants corrected it. The original screenplay had Leary's character saying the car had a 283 cubic inch inline 6, which would have been embarrassingly incorrect, since no Charger ever came with that configuration. Dodge's public relations team, who'd given permission to use their brand name, reviewed the script and immediately flagged the technical error. They sent a consultant to set who explained that realistic options for a '68 Charger would be a 318, 383, or 440 cubic inch V8. The writers revised the dialogue to reflect accurate engine options, making the joke work better because real car enthusiasts would recognize authentic specifications. But here's what's ironic. The actual car used in filming had a 383 V8, which was a perfectly respectable engine producing 270 horsepower when new. The script's joke implied this was somehow inferior, but a well-maintained 383 could outperform many modern vehicles. The humor worked because audiences unfamiliar with muscle cars accepted that not a Hemi meant bad, while knowledgeable enthusiasts appreciated the accurate technical details. This balance made the scene funny to both casual viewers and gearheads, though for different reasons. Number 12. Christopher Walken refused to touch the car.
Watch my head. I thought I told you, buddy. Nobody wants you around.
Radio station ID.
Coming to work.
Christopher Walken, who played Clem, refused to sit in or touch the Charger during his scenes because he had a superstitious belief about cursed film vehicles after a traumatic experience on a previous movie involving a car accident. Walken's superstition stemmed from a 1978 film where he'd been riding in a picture car that crashed during filming, leaving him with a concussion and permanent hearing damage in his left ear. Since then, he'd maintained strict rules about interacting with vehicles on set. He'd film scenes near cars, but wouldn't sit inside them, touch them, or allow them within 3 feet of his body during takes. The Joe Dirt production learned about this quirk during pre-production planning and had to rewrite Walken's scenes to accommodate his phobia. Originally, Clem was supposed to examine the car closely, running his hands over the body while explaining its history. Instead, they rewrote it so Walken delivers his dialogue while standing 10 feet away, gesturing toward the car without physical contact. If you watch his scene carefully, you'll notice he never breaks his self-imposed distance rule. The camera angles create an illusion of proximity, but he's always safely separated. The crew found this quirk endearing rather than difficult, though it required extra camera setups to maintain the spatial illusion. David Spade later joked that Walken's refusal to touch the car was the smartest decision anyone made on set, given how many problems the vehicle caused during production. Number 11, the meteor scene, nearly destroyed the entire car.
I knew what happened that one day at that Grand Canyon place.
Is that the Joe Dirt car?
Yep, it is.
The scene where frozen human waste crashes into the car's roof required 3 separate takes because the first 2 impacts were so violent they nearly destroyed the entire vehicle, punching through the roof and damaging the frame underneath. The special effects team built a 100-pound ice ball mixed with brown dye and debris to create the illusion of a sewage meteor. They calculated the drop height needed to create a dramatic impact without destroying the car, settling on 25 feet dropped from a crane. But their math was catastrophically wrong. The first attempt punched a basketball-sized hole completely through the roof, with the ice ball continuing downward and cracking the front bench seat's frame. The second attempt, dropped from a safer 15 feet, still caved in the roof to the point where the metal touched the steering wheel. Each failed take required extensive bodywork to make the car filmable again, costing $8,000 and 3 days per repair. For the third attempt, the effects team pre-weakened the roof by cutting strategic relief points that would collapse predictably without destroying structural integrity, and reduced the ice ball's weight to 60 pounds. This finally achieved the desired effect, a dramatic visible impact crater without actually destroying the car. The production kept the damaged roof from the first attempt, and it's now displayed at a Hollywood effects museum as an example of what happens when physics calculations go wrong. The final film version uses the successful third take. Number 10. The interior smelled so bad they had to replace it.
Listen, I was hired to come talk to y'all a little bit before you get out there. I understand you do not know what you're doing.
The Charger's interior smelled so horrifically bad, a combination of mold, dead animals, and mystery fluids that David Spade refused to film inside it until the production spent $6,000 completely gutting and replacing every interior surface. When the production company purchased the car, the previous owner had stored it in an outdoor carport in humid Louisiana for 8 years. Rain had leaked through the rusted roof and rotted window seals, creating a breeding ground for mold that covered the seats, carpet, and headliner in fuzzy black growth. During the initial inspection, crew members discovered a dead possum decomposing under the back seat, along with nests built by rats who chewed through wiring and insulation. The smell was so overpowering that the transport driver wore a respirator while delivering it to the set. Spade took one look inside, smelled the interior, and immediately told producers he wouldn't film a single scene until it was fixed. The production hired an automotive restoration shop to strip everything down to bare metal, treat the mold with industrial chemicals, and install completely new seats, carpet, door, panels, and headliner. The original seats were so contaminated they had to be disposed of as hazardous waste. Even after the $6,000 restoration, cast and crew reported a faint swamp smell that never fully disappeared. The costume department had to wash Spade's wardrobe after every interior scene because the odor transferred to fabric. Number 9. Insurance cost, more than the car's purchase price.
$8,000, man, that's more than I paid for the whole car.
Interesting.
The production's insurance policy for the Charger cost $11,500, nearly $3,000 more than they paid to purchase the actual vehicle because insurers classified it as a high-risk custom-modified film vehicle with documented safety violations. When the production approached film vehicle insurers with details about the car's age, condition, modifications, and intended use in driving scenes, they received quotes that shocked everyone. Standard film vehicle insurance ran about $800 to $1,200 per vehicle, but the Charger's combination of factors made it a nightmare to underwrite. It was over 30 years old, had failed multiple safety inspections, featured homemade aerodynamic modifications that had already caused one accident, and would be driven by stunt drivers at speeds exceeding posted limits. 3 insurance companies flat out refused to cover it at any price. The company that finally agreed demanded an $11,500 premium plus strict conditions, mandatory safety inspections every 3 days, a dedicated mechanic on set whenever the car was operational, prohibition from stunts exceeding 45 miles per hour, and a $50,000 deductible for any damage claims. The production had to sign an agreement accepting full liability for injuries or property damage beyond the policy limits. Producer Bonnie Radford later called the insurance situation absolutely insane because they were paying more to protect a $8,000 beater than luxury cars typically cost to insure for entire productions. The high insurance cost forced budget cuts elsewhere, including reducing the number of camera operators. Number 8. It sat in a junkyard for 3 years after filming.
All right, see you guys, definitely. I'll see you, buddy.
After production wrapped in 2000, the Hero Charger sat forgotten in a North Hollywood junkyard for 3 years because Columbia Pictures lost track of it during a studio reorganization, and it was nearly crushed for scrap before being rediscovered. When filming ended, the car was supposed to be returned to Columbia's prop warehouse for storage and potential future use. Paperwork errors during Sony's acquisition of Columbia caused the vehicle to be mislabeled and sent to a contract storage facility that primarily handled junk vehicles destined for recycling. The storage company, not realizing the car had any value, treated it like any other abandoned vehicle, parking it in an outdoor lot exposed to weather, where it sat accumulating rust, flat tires, and bird droppings. By 2003, the storage facility needed space and flagged the Charger for crushing along with dozens of other unclaimed vehicles. A day before its scheduled destruction, a film memorabilia researcher named Patricia Stone was visiting the junkyard looking for props from another production when she recognized the distinctive nose cone and wing. She contacted Columbia's asset management department, which had no record of the vehicle's location, and had assumed it was safely warehoused. The studio paid $3,800 in back storage fees to reclaim it. The 3-year outdoor abandonment caused significant deterioration. Rusted body panels, seized engine, rotted interior, and a bird nest inside the air cleaner housing. This near-destruction story later added to the car's mystique and value. Number 7. 38. Replica Chargers have been built by fans.
It was Q5 Seafoam Turquoise. So other than that, I had a real, just clean...
The film inspired such dedicated fandom that at least 38 screen-accurate replica Chargers have been professionally built by fans worldwide, with some spending over $60,000 recreating every detail, including the intentional imperfections. Within 2 years of Joe Dirt's release, automotive customizers started receiving requests to transform regular 68 Chargers into Joe Dirt replicas, complete with fake Daytona nose cones and wings. The first documented replica was built in 2003 by a Georgia mechanic who spent $47,000 on the conversion, including custom fiberglass work, period-correct wheels, and even replicating the damaged roof from the meteor scene. What makes these replicas fascinating is that builders aren't trying to create pristine show cars. They're intentionally reproducing the film car's imperfections, including mismatched paint touch-ups, dents, and the slightly crooked wing mounting. One obsessive builder in Texas spent 18 months and $63,000 creating a replica so accurate he included the exact rust patterns, reproduced the specific style of duct tape repairs visible in certain scenes, and even installed a worn steering wheel matching the film version. Another builder commissioned a custom interior that replicated the stains and wear patterns visible on screen. The most expensive replica sold at a charity auction in 2019 for $85,000, more than 10 times what the original film car cost to purchase. Several replica owners attend Comic-Con and car shows, where they're frequently mistaken for the actual screen-used vehicle. Number 6. The air conditioning never worked during desert filming. The Charger's air conditioning system was completely non-functional during the entire production, and desert filming in temperatures exceeding 110 degrees left David Spade with heat exhaustion twice, requiring medical intervention and production delays. The 68 Charger came with factory air conditioning, but the 30-year-old system had long since failed. The compressor was seized, refrigerant had leaked out decades ago, and the evaporator was corroded beyond repair. Repairing it would have cost approximately $2,500, which the production deemed an unnecessary luxury expense. This decision proved disastrous during location filming in Lucerne Valley and Palmdale, California, where summer temperatures routinely exceeded 110 degrees. The car's black interior absorbed heat like a solar oven, with surface temperatures inside reaching 140 degrees. Spade could only endure approximately 12 minutes inside the vehicle before requiring cooling breaks. During one particularly brutal afternoon shoot, he collapsed from heat exhaustion after a 20-minute scene, requiring paramedics to treat him with intravenous fluids. Production shut down for the rest of that day. The second incident occurred a week later, under similar conditions. The crew tried mitigation strategies: ice packs on seats, portable fans, frequent water breaks, but nothing adequately compensated for the lack of functioning air conditioning. Modern stunt safety regulations would never allow actors to work in such conditions, but 2000-era film production standards were more lenient. Number 5, it was stolen during production for 48 hours.
It's not what you like, it's the consumer.
The Hero Charger was stolen from the production's secured parking lot during filming, triggering a 48-hour crisis that nearly shut down the entire production until LAPD recovered it, abandoned in East Los Angeles with additional damage. During week 7 of filming, the car was parked overnight in a supposedly secure studio lot in Burbank, protected by fencing and security guards. Thieves somehow bypassed security, hot-wired the Charger, and drove it off the lot without triggering any alarms. The theft was discovered at 6:30 a.m. when crew members arrived to prep the vehicle for that day's shoot. Production immediately halted because every scheduled scene involved the car. Columbia Pictures filed a police report, and LAPD launched an investigation treating it as a grand theft auto of a film production asset. The studio offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to recovery. 48 hours later, police found the Charger abandoned in a strip mall parking lot in East LA, out of gas and vandalized. The thieves had apparently joy-ridden it, adding over 300 miles to the odometer, burning out the brakes, and spray painting graffiti on the doors. Recovering and repairing the vehicle cost the production $14,000 and added 6 days to the filming schedule. Security was massively increased afterward, with the car being stored inside a locked building with 24-hour armed guards. Police never identified the thieves, though investigators suspected it was an inside job because the thieves knew exactly which car to target. Number 4. A different car was used for Joe Dirt 2.
From the movie, which is really cool. But before we tell you more about this vehicle, a quick word from our...
When Joe Dirt 2, Beautiful Loser, was filmed in 2015, the production couldn't locate the original hero. Charger and instead built a completely new replica from scratch at a cost of $93,000, more than 10 times the original's budget. By 2013, when sequel pre-production began, the original hero car's ownership had become murky after passing through Kid Rock's divorce, the Dubai collector, and several subsequent sales. The current owner refused to rent it to the production, demanding a purchase price of $450,000, or a rental fee of $35,000 per week. Columbia Pictures balked at these costs and decided building a new replica made more financial sense. They hired the same prop fabrication shop that created the original nose cone and wing, but 21st century fabrication costs were dramatically higher. The base 68 Charger cost $28,000 from a classic car dealer. The nose cone and wing fabrication cost $32,000. Custom paint and bodywork cost $18,000. And mechanical restoration cost $15,000. The total $93,000 expense shocked producers who remembered the original, costing only $20,000 total. Sharp-eyed fans immediately noticed differences between the cars. The sequel version had a slightly different wing angle, cleaner bodywork, and more vibrant paint. David Spade joked that the new car ran better but had no soul, though he appreciated that it had functional air conditioning this time. Number 3. The Peterson Museum offered $500,000 but was rejected.
So it's 1969. Like any red-blooded American, you love NASCAR.
The Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles offered the Charger's owner $500,000 in 2018 to acquire it for permanent display. But the owner rejected the offer, holding out for $750,000 that never materialized. Peterson wanted the car as part of a planned Hollywood movie cars exhibition, featuring iconic vehicles from film history. Museum director Terry Carges personally approached the current owner, a private collector in Orange County whose identity remains confidential, with a substantial offer that included the $500,000 purchase price plus coverage of all transportation and documentation costs. The museum's board approved the expenditure because they believed the Joe Dirt Charger represented an important cultural artifact from the early 2000 years of comedy cinema. But the owner demanded $750,000, claiming the car's value would continue appreciating and the museum's offer was 50% below market value. Negotiations continued for 8 months before collapsing when the owner refused to budge on price. The Peterson withdrew their offer and instead acquired a screen-used vehicle from another film. The owner's gamble backfired by 2020. COVID-19 pandemic economic impacts had suppressed the classic car market, and the Charger's estimated value had actually decreased to approximately $400,000. Multiple subsequent buyers have approached the owner with offers, but none have matched the original Peterson proposal. Automotive investment experts now cite this as a cautionary tale about collectors overvaluing film cars and missing peak selling opportunities. Number 2, David Spade. Tried to buy it, but couldn't afford it. Joe Dirt.
I didn't know it would be that much.
Was it really?
Yeah, I went at an auction.
Did you even look at, were you there on the auction? Did you consider?
No, but
David Spade attempted to purchase the Hero Charger in 2016, offering $250,000 because of personal attachment to the film, but the owner rejected his offer, and Spade publicly complained about being outbid by people with too much money. During a 2016 Tonight Show appearance, Spade mentioned wanting to buy the actual Joe Dirt car for his personal collection, calling it the only cool car I'll ever be associated with. His representatives contacted the then current owner with a cash offer of $250,000, which Spade considered generous given the car's original production, cost, and condition. The owner countered at $525,000, more than double Spade's offer. Spade increased his bid to $310,000, his maximum budget for what he called a purely sentimental purchase. The owner again refused. Spade later told Howard Stern that losing the bidding war was embarrassing and frustrating because he was the guy who actually made the car famous, yet couldn't afford to own it. He joked that his offer should have included celebrity discount consideration. The incident highlighted how film memorabilia markets often price out the very people who created the value through their performances. Spade eventually purchased a replica built by a fan, paying $68,000 for a screen-accurate copy that he keeps in his Los Angeles garage. He admitted the replica looks identical but doesn't feel the same as the Hero car. Number 1, nobody knows the current owner's identity or location.
And when I got it, it looked like the Joe Dirt car.
Here's the bombshell that'll blow your mind. The current owner of the authentic Hero Charger is completely unknown to the public, with the car's location kept secret through a series of confidential private sales, and automotive historians have failed to definitively track it beyond 2017. After the Dubai collector purchased it from Kid Rock's ex-wife in 2010, the trail became murky. The collector reportedly sold it in 2013 to an American buyer, but that sale was conducted through intermediaries and never publicly documented. Auction records show a screen-used Joe Dirt Charger selling at a private estate sale in 2017 for $422,000, but the buyer's identity was protected by confidentiality agreements. Since then, nothing. No public appearances, no auction listings, no verified sightings. Automotive journalists have investigated, contacting classic car dealers, auction houses, and film memorabilia experts, but nobody can confirm the current owner or location. Some believe it's in a private collection in Texas, others claim it's stored in a climate-controlled facility in Nevada, while conspiracy theorists suggest it was purchased by Columbia Pictures itself to prevent further commercial exploitation. The mystery has spawned an entire online community dedicated to tracking the car, analyzing any photos that surface for authentication. Multiple screen-used Chargers appear at Comic-Con and car shows annually, but without production documentation or VIN verification, none can be definitively proven authentic, until the owner decides to reveal themselves. The most famous fake Daytona in cinema history remains hidden like Joe Dirt's true identity.